Hey everybody, Who's Your Jedi here with a video that's going to be a little bit different than what you usually see from me. Now, if you're one of my regular viewers, you've probably heard me mention that I currently live in South Korea. Well, today I went to an event, a anime convention of sorts, and I think that would be the sort of thing that would be of interest to the viewers of my channel. So I'm going to take a little time and tell you about it. So here's the program for the show that I went to. It's called Comic World. I didn't even know this existed until yesterday. My friend Jake went to it with his Korean girlfriend. He posted about it on his Facebook, and I was like, wait, there's an anime convention in Seoul? What's going on? So he gave me the relevant details, and since I was just basically going to spend today cleaning my apartment, I decided, well, that sounds boring. Let's go to the anime convention. Now, the thing you have to understand here is that this isn't really like anime conventions back in the US or the West in general, or even like it is in Japan. Actually, it is a little bit more like it is in Japan, but I'll get to that in a few minutes. Now, I've only ever been to two anime conventions, ASIN and CCon. Actually, was one of the organizers. I'm one of the people that helped organize the last CCon in Indianapolis, if you ever happened to go to that. But anyway, it's not like that, where you have a whole bunch of people selling various anime merchandise, off the boat from Japan. You have the creators who've come over from Japan, and of course the folks from the English translation and distribution side of things, hawking their wares, the English voice actors doing interviews and all that. Okay, there was really not that really was not what was going on here. The main thing to understand is that this isn't one of those, once a year kind of things. This happens, amazingly enough, every weekend. And it's really, I guess, in a way like, if you've ever heard of the Harajuku area of Tokyo, where on the weekend all the cosplay kids slap on their crazy outfits and go and hang out in Harajuku, and tourists go down there to take their picture and all that other fun stuff. Well, this is a little bit more like that. This is basically what Korean nerds do on the weekends. So we've got the cosplay people here, and the really big thing are the two. I even kind of hesitate to call them dealers' rooms, because they're really, if you're familiar with cons, really like a giant versions of artists' alleys. So basically what happens is that you have all these Korean folks selling their versions, I don't know what the Korean word for it is, but their version of doujinshi. And they also sell a lot of just homemade products. I mean, we're talking like magnets and mugs and t-shirts and bookmarks and just all kinds of really crazy stuff. Some of it is really, really well made, though. I mean, and a lot of it's pretty cheap too. Now, I just got back from my vacation to Australia, where I ended up spending a lot more money than I really intended to. So I promised myself to cut down on the financial expenditures for a while. So I did only buy a few things, but I will show them to you. One, I found this guy in the Artist Alley who was really, really good. So I bought one of his books, and just despite the title, you can see it, Amazing Girls. Everything in here is perfectly clean. I would not be showing this on the internet if this was not safe. There wasn't safe for work stuff in here, but I'm not going to wave that in front of my webcam of questionable quality just to prove that to you. You guys are just going to have to take me at my word on that. The other thing that I found that really tickled my interest were these. Yeah, that's Deadpool right there. And here we have Magneto. Stupid webcam. The Hulk. So these are basically Marvel Comics tarot cards. And as you can see, it's not a full deck of tarot cards. It's, if I remember correctly, there's supposed to be about 78 cards in a proper tarot deck. This only has the 22 major arcana and the four the 4 ace cards. But these were $8, and I thought, what the heck, right? This is kind of cool. And that was one thing that really just blew me away is there was a lot, and I mean a lot, of Avengers stuff on sale. Now, as I understand it, Avengers is now something along the lines like the #3 movie of all time. I know it was quite popular here in Korea, so it's really not very surprising. But there was just an insane amount of Avenger stuff. There was doujinshi and buttons and all that stuff that I said. And the really interesting thing that I found while I was patrolling around the dealer's table was I found a couple of Western folks who were there selling their own stuff. One guy I got to talking to, he actually works in the comic industry. He's currently the colorist for the Evangeline comics put out by Rob Liefeld. And tragically, I forgot to actually ask this guy what his name was. But he's based here in Korea. He was there, selling his own original drawings of various superheroes. He also had Transformers and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle drawings. And he and I got to talking, and he was telling me there's a lot of there's a decent subculture of folks here in Korea who really like American comics. Now, as I said, there was a lot of Avengers stuff come out there. I literally took over a dozen photos. I didn't really take very many pictures of the people doing cosplays. I took pictures of booths that were selling things that I thought were interesting, and I literally took over a dozen pictures, maybe even in the area of 20, of people who were selling interesting, cool Avengers stuff. But anyway, he was telling me that there's a whole subculture of Korean folks who are really into Western comics. I've even met some of these folks. Last year I found a group of people who basically were into Western comics, and they were just getting together to exchange their various collections. And so I went to that. I exchanged some comics with some Korean folks who were into American comics. I got to talking with this one girl. She absolutely loved the Fantastic Four. Her favorite artist was the late Mike Waringo. Really cool guy, very talented. And she about had a heart attack when I mentioned that I'd gone out to Comic-Con International years ago and had the chance to meet Stan Lee himself. I mean, literally, I thought this girl was going to keel over. She was just so shocked. And yeah. So that was a really very cool experience. And just to kind of lay on that, I know places where in town, here in Seoul, where I can go, and if I want to, buy Korean translations of American comics. I've seen stuff like Green Lantern, I've seen X-Men, I've seen Captain America, I've seen Batman, I've seen a lot of Sandman. They really like Sandman apparently, but hey, it's Sandman. Can you really blame them? But anyway, getting back to the event. So mostly just fan-made stuff. I did talk to some of the Western folks that were there. There was one guy, he was selling his own English language comics, which were just mostly funny animal stuff. Not really my thing. There was another guy there who was selling his own drawings of superheroes and supervillains, just like that. And there was Korean, I didn't bother to ask where she was from, but I could tell by the accent she was from North America. So either Canadian or Korean Canadian or Korean American. And she was also selling, some of her own merchandise. She made quite a few buttons. She was the only person I saw there selling Young Justice stuff. And of course, if you've been watching my channel, you know that I'm quite the fan of the show Young Justice. Oh yeah, hang on. I actually forgot. I forgot I had this. I've yet to figure out, go and check and see what this is exactly. Hang on, I'm trying to hold this up to the camera. But yeah, I found this flyer out in the lobby. So, like I said, I haven't really gone by the website on there yet to see what that is, but it is really kind of cool to see that American superheroes have gotten a foothold here. And And while I did occasionally see stuff like that when I was in Japan, I get the impression that the American superheroes here in Korea are more popular than they are in Japan. But I haven't been. I left Japan back in 2005, so who knows what's happened in the 7 years since then. But anyway, getting back to the convention itself, there were a pretty good number of people doing cosplay there. Sadly, I haven't really been following anime like I used to, like when I was in college. I just really started to lose interest in a lot of anime when Moe really started to dominate the anime scene. I've been coming back to it a little bit lately, as you can tell if you're following my channel, by my Binbo Gamiga reviews. But the sad thing is, the vast majority of the characters that were roaming around were ones I had no idea who they were, or maybe I was vaguely familiar with them, but I couldn't tell you what the name of the character was or what series they were from. Now, there were, of course, your usual staples. There were a few Bleach characters, plenty of folks doing One Piece. Let's see. Oh yes, plenty of Naruto cosplayers. Some of them quite good. It's just, well, let's just say that there was a point during the convention where I wanted to shout, "Attention, cadre of Naruto cosplayers! Please stop clustering in front of the vending machine. I and some other people would like to buy a drink." But tragically, my Korean is not good enough to say that, and even if it was, I'd broach things in a much more polite fashion because, hey, we're all fans here. So, I did see, oh yeah, let's talk about it. I did see one Iron Man cosplayer. The Comics Pro guy even told me that was a friend of his who had won the last major cosplay competition, and it was really good. I mean, it was mostly made out of cardboard, but he had it set up so that the chest circle would glow, and so would the repulsor hand, and even the eyes in the Iron Man mask. I mean, the guy had obviously put a massive amount of work into something that was made out of, again, what would look to me like cardboard. But it was, again, really well done. Tragically, I lost track of him before I could get a picture of him. Let's see. In terms of other Western cosplay, I saw two snipers from Team Fortress 2. Apparently, Koreans curiously like to go around dressed like American military special forces. There was one guy dressed in what was not maybe a Nazi uniform, but definitely a German military uniform of some sort. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say about that guy. I saw one girl dressed as Lisa Simpson. The one that really floored me, though, was the girl I saw cosplaying as Aang from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Her, I did get a picture of. I took it with my iPad. I actually tried while I was at the con to tweet and put some pictures out there, but for some reason the reception in that building was just absolutely awful. I did use my phone. I did manage to 2 tweets from my phone, but even then I was having a real heck of a time getting a connection. So I don't know what was going on there. So besides all of that, the other main room was, I guess it would be the closest thing that you would have to a video room. The thing is, all it really did was show was the opening to various anime shows. So I hung around in there for a while, just sort of watching. I wasn't sure. At first I thought they were showing previews for the coming anime season this fall, and they might have been, but after I saw, like, wait a minute, that's the opening to Fairy Tail. I know that series has had a show on the air for a while now. So again, maybe there's a new opening or something coming on down the line. I don't know. But after I realized all they're going to be showing here is the opening sequences for various shows, I sort of lost interest and just went to wandering around the convention a little bit more. I did wander back later because while wandering the halls, I ran into another American guy by the name of Carl. he'd been to these shows several times before, and he was able to kind of give me some of the details. And he told me that later this afternoon there was going to be the karaoke contest for the various folks in attendance. I went by and checked that out for a while, but karaoke's not really my thing. So after a while, I just sort of left and again just went back to wandering around, checking things out. And let's see. Yeah, I really do think that covers all that I have to say about this particular event. So, I guess it might be a little bit of a misnomer to call it an anime convention. It's really just more of a regular fan gathering. And I'll probably go back, but I'm certainly not going to be doing this every weekend. You know, I do have other things to do that I like to do on the weekends. But I suppose every once in a while I might just wander on over just to sort of check things out, and it'll be fun after I start my Korean classes next month. Once I have a decent bit under my belt, I can go there and start practicing it with some fellow fans. And I might even get to practice my Japanese. God knows I haven't used that much in the last 7 years since I left Japan. So I guess we'll see. Anyway, I'm glad I went to this. It was certainly interesting to see a gathering of fans like this in another country. But as I said, it's not exactly the big fancy shows that I'm used to at home, but it was still quite a bit of fun nonetheless. Anyway, folks, that's all for this video. As always, please comment, rate, and subscribe. You can, of course, follow me on Twitter at Hoosier Jedi. And until next time, take care and have a good one.